So back in the, what was it, 1940s?
Back in 40s, I think. Is
Late 1940s, early 1950s, in Edinburgh, Scotland, there was this arts festival going on, but it was really targeted towards upper class, artists and audiences. And then there was this group of bohemian artists that had created these new innovative works of art, and they wanted to be part of the festival. And they were uninvited, so what they went to do is they went to the fringes of the festival and said, F you. And there on the fringes of the festival, they drew more and more crowds each year that eventually it overshadowed the high-class art. And hence Edinburgh, the mother of all fringe festivals, and the largest one in the world, was born. And since then, fringe festivals have popped up all over the United States and Canada and the world.
Oh, nice. So it's now sort of like the whole world kind of adopted this idea from Scotland and just traveled because people loved it so much, essentially.
Absolutely.
They loved the chance to be able to see something new and something they hadn't seen before.
Perfect. And now going into a little bit, what inspired you guys to sort of create and start the first ever Syracuse Fringe Festival?
Several drinks. Yes, but throughout the course of that conversation, we were talking about how Syracuse is a city, and it's a small city, but it's a city with a lot of artistic talent and depth. And aside from the big players in town like Syracuse Stage and the two universities and the orchestra and Symphoria and things like that, what Syracuse really has are a lot of individual artists who do their own avant-garde, individual weird things on their own. And we didn't really see those artists seeing their works being produced in a larger sense. It was all individual and guerrilla and grassroots performances and art spaces and things like that. And so what we really kind of latched onto, the key point of the idea was, I think Syracuse could really benefit from having an outlet for these kinds of artists to be seen by the community at large, which is where the impetus for the Fringe Festival came. Being able to provide a festival that is all about this weird and unusual, seldom seen.
Yeah, so seldom seen productions and to create an environment for that. I think on the artist side, that's fairly easy to do because there are a lot of artists that are ready to jump in, as demonstrated by the festival said, yeah, I have weird masks that I make, and I'll come and bring those weird masks to the festival. And yeah, I do sword swallowing, and I just do fringe festivals and Renaissance fairs. I'm game, I'll be right there, I'll drive up from Pittsburgh. So that side sort of built itself in that sense. I think the richness of a city like Syracuse, and I think where at least I'm going to pull my most joy, is in that challenging the audiences, who are typically introduced and are familiar and comfortable with more mainstream classical contemporary theater, dance, music, which is great. I mean, Syracuse has a plethora of that, and it's a great community to be invested in that stuff. But there's something missing, I think, if we talk about an audience member and rounding out their experience of what it means to be an art goer and to be engaged in the arts. I think this festival and the artists themselves, not even Jake and I, but the artists themselves who essentially own the festival, they're going to push that envelope and they're going to challenge those audiences and engage in conversations with those audience members after their shows and talk about what art is. And that's the really exciting part, and I'm really excited to see how that will unfold.
Yeah. I guess our goal here is for every performance we have, we want our audience members to be blown away enough and confused enough to walk out of the theater and want to start a conversation with a stranger.
Yeah.
And so taking that idea of it being avant-garde and sort of exposing Syracuse to it more because they haven't seen it, and just sort of well-rounding their whole experience, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. What's one thing, you sort of went over it a little, but what's one thing you would like theater goers to the Fringe Festival to take away from the experience?
how to phrase this. I think we want our theater goer, our goers, audience members to see a variety of different shows and say, I never knew I could see, a one-man show about a priest and a guy swallowing swords and body painting to jazz music and reading of Rumi's all in one night and have fun.
Right.
And I don't know exactly what I saw, but I'm going to be thinking about it for a little bit of time.
And I want to come back.
And I want to come back. And next year maybe I like setting Romeo and Juliet to Metallica, and I'm going to put a show, I'm going to throw that show together in my garage with
My friends.
Yeah, with my friends, and we're going to go to the Fringe next year, and we're going to make some money and show off our art and have fun doing it.